Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. This afternoon's guest that we have with us is the delightful Denise Frakes. It's always a pleasure working with her. She is a local home and life coach and facilitator for Puget Sound Asthma Coalition. And she's speaking on a very important topic today on breathe, declutter, and de-stress, which I think we all need in our lives. Thank you so much, Denise.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. And so nice to see everybody. Well, I don't see pictures. Oh, I guess I just see myself now. Hello. um, so thank you so much. It was funny. Right before I started today, I went and made myself a cup of tea. And in my little tea box, this is what it said: a mindful break. Our busy lives often need natural ways to find inner peace. Just as roots connect to earth, the wisdom of this is an Ayurvedic tea uses turmeric, ginger, and ashwagandha roots to help us ground. These magical organic herbs can be found in many of these creations. It helps us find blissful, mindful moments. So that's kind of the point of this whole talk. Because, especially through the last couple years, but even before then, it's easy in our society, it's easy in life to be going, trying. There's a lot we've processed over the last couple of years. I mean, oh my gosh, we are like out of any kind of place that we've ever been before. So we've processed wars, we've processed pandemics, we've processed riots, we've processed political polarities, we processed changing of laws. I mean, so many things we've been processing. We've also had a shift in our lives of like, a lot of us are less engaged with community now because of the pandemic. So we might find ourselves a little bit more isolated. Life has changed, maybe not as much easy connection. And last month I was doing a talk on decision fatigue, on how even normal decisions, like how much toilet paper to have in your house. Is it okay to go to the grocery store and then go visit grandma? All these layers that used to be super simple decisions we didn't even think about now become major life and death situation questions, which turn them from just a normal thing into a high stress question. So it takes more energy. So we have to find ways to rebalance ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to offset the stress. And a little stress is good. We need stress just to keep us going, to be active, to be engaged. We need a little bit of challenge in our life. Absolutely. That is good for us. But when the challenges become all the time and we never can fully rest, when we're going and always have our stress going up and up, then we have more chronic stress, and that depletes us. So in the energy work of like Donna Eden, which I love Donna Eden's work, she talks about the radiant energy system. So when we are under high stress, there's a system called the triple warmers. And that is like our inner militia. So like, okay, I'm ready to go. You're fight and flight, you're freeze, I can handle this, or I'm totally wigged out, but I'm engaged. I'm always engaged. So when that system is super strong, which has been happening with almost all of us, then what happens, there's another energy system called the radiant energy system, and that gets dropped down. It gets down below that active, vigilant energy system. The radiant energy system is our inner mom, our inner nourishment, our everything's going to be just fine, our inner grace, our inner gratitudes, our inner kindness, our inner just love of life. That gets diminished, and then we become tight, tense, anxious. I think we've all felt so what we're wanting to do today is I want to give you some practices to calm our stressors and activate the radiant energy system so that we can thrive again. Because if we never lose the radiant energy system, it just gets a little bit weaker. And so it's just like a muscle. You have to use it. You use it or lose it. And one of them is super strong. It's kind of like if you've ever had a repetitive injury because you're doing certain things with certain muscles all the time, like computer stuff. Certain muscles get over strong and they're just like, and you have all these other little muscles that are like, they don't even need to be done. So we lose that balance. Well, this is exactly the same in your energy system. One of them is over strong and overactivated. And these practices are intended to cultivate the other energy system to bring balance. And when the radiant energy systems get stronger, that strong triple warmer, the fight and flight, that can calm down, and then you can have balance, because this is just as important, but we want it to be balanced so that we also have the radiant energy. So today I'm giving you a few practices. First, I'm going to show you a breath of awe, which is just a delightful breath. And you can use that with this tapping meditation I'm going to show you. And then I'm also kind of going to go over some, there's like 10 ways I've put in there for you to nourish you. I'm not going to go over all of them, but you have the handout, so you can go play with them. And this isn't something it's not like a job. This should feel good. When you do these kind of things, when you're doing good energy work, when you're nourishing your system, it should feel good. If it feels like work, shift to another one that feels good. Because if you're struggling and fighting your way through nourishment, it's not really nourishment. It's more like the fight and flight side. So it's important that these things feel good to you. So the first one I want to show you is it's a breath called Breath of Wonder. And the breath of wonder is really a way of just expanding. So you think about your brain, and when you get tense, it goes and it gets tight, and it gets all, think of like little curls, and they get tight and they get wound in there, and it gets, everything is like, so the breath of wonder is like breathing in through your nostrils up into your sinus cavities, and you're really thinking about breathing your brain bigger. So you can even go up into the stars. You can go breathe. So every breath you're like breathing in. So try this with me. You're breathing in, letting it go in through your nostrils, up into your sinus cavities, and then feel free to just think about your brain kind of untightening up, kind of lightening up and just expanding, actually getting bigger on all sides. You know, you're just like, and then on the breath out, you can either breathe out through your nose or breathe out through your mouth. I usually breathe out through my mouth. It tends to keep me more active, and it also connects another circuit. So it's just breathing in, up, out, and then out. And the out, you think about like a balloon. So like a balloon that's just got a little slow leak that's just like, it's just like relaxing. So it's breathing in and out, and you can breathe in up through your brain, but then you can also think about breathing your heart out, the back of your body, your around your gut, your inside, your feet. You just kind of ends up like the first breath is expansive, and then it's relaxive. So if I was doing a qigong move, it would be, and then that is your breath. That, think about, that is the kind of motion. It's kind of up and out, down and relax. That's the breath. And so you're not trying to make this breath powerful. You're not trying to press it. What you're trying to do is expand it and become aware of it. So think about when you're breathing, you're untangling, you're expanding, you're stretching it. And then when you breathe out, you're letting go, you're releasing, you're relaxing. You're actually literally relaxing your shoulders, dropping your shoulders, relaxing the back of your neck, relaxing your jaws, relaxing your eyes, relaxing your heart, your gut. You know, you're just like expand and relax, expand and relax. And so it's more of a practice of being present, of being aware, of feeling your body expand and get into flow. So it creates this level of flow. And so it's like the breath of awe, because it's this amazing feeling of expansion. You think about like the atomic bomb, one little atom was cut in half, created the atomic bomb. So we have all these little atoms in our body. By just realizing that we have this almost a universe within each body of just all these cells and you know, just this whole energy system, it's like this power grid running. So all you're doing is tapping into that and expanding it and letting it go. You're so much more powerful than you even realize of just your own energy field. Expand and let go. So when we get going, it's real easy for us to always be active. So one of the practices I do, and it is invaluable to me, is to take 10 to 20 minutes a day and do some kind of mindful meditation. The reason I do this mindful meditation is because it stops my brain from going, you know how that, you know, it's always like, you know, I'm unplugged. I'm not on any computer. I'm not on my cell phone. I'm not on any app. I don't have any out things going. It's just me and my breath. And I'm going to show you how to use your fingers because it kind of helps. But in doing that, what you're doing is you think about your computer. Think about your brain as your computer. And you know when it gets wonky, you have to turn it off and shut it down for like a minute, and then you plug it in and everything starts running the same. Meditation is almost identical to rebooting your computer. And what you, instead of doing 1 minute of actually unplugging, what you're doing is giving yourself 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Usually what I do is like either one longer 20 minutes or two 10-minute practices, but the practice is pretty simple. It's just me being still, breathing in, breathing out. I usually set my timer so I don't have to think, and I want to be unplugged. And what I'm doing right there is I'm disengaging my brain because my brain gets overactive. And science tells us when we're actively trying, we're not as smart as when we let go. It's like you've heard of like getting an idea in the shower or when you're out for a walk or cutting vegetables or mowing the lawn or something. That's when the aha moments come in. That's because we've disengaged our brain, and our bodies are intended to focus, stress ourselves, and then release. And that's where the aha moments come from. The great inventors, they would do this. They would be working on a problem and then they would stop. They would meditate, they go for a walk, they would take a nap, and then they'd wake up and then they go back to work. It reboots our brain. So I'm going to give you this other tapping. It's a tapping meditation. You can use it any time of day. I use it a lot at night right before I go to sleep because it calms my nervous system. But if anytime you feel like you need a break, if you've been thinking a lot or you've just processed a lot of news, you watch the news for a while, some kind of stressor is going on, or you've just been going, you haven't taken a break, take a moment and do like a 5-10 minute meditation of just closing your eyes, breathing. I usually like to think of my eyes kind of focusing up a little bit because it kind of uplifts me. So when I'm meditating, a lot of times I'll kind of hold focus up instead of down, but go with what you're most comfortable with. So with the tapping meditation, and just so you know, tapping is an emotional freedom technique. What it is I'm activating different meridians. You've heard of like acupuncture. So I'm activating different meridians to create flow. It works very well for our emotions, to help our emotions flow on through us. It's excellent for a de-stressing practice. So sometimes when your brain is really active, it's hard to hold focus for 10 minutes because your brain's really active and it doesn't feel like you're making progress. Sometimes it can even cause you more stress. So the tapping, what I love about that is because you're only holding focus through one breath. You can move it and then you're only focusing for one breath, and you get the benefits of meditation, but you don't have to be able to sit still. Now, and just so you know, when you're meditating, it's natural for thoughts to come in, and it's like a muscle. You learn to meditate, you get stronger and better at it, but you'll naturally have thoughts float in. The practice of meditation is actually to come back to your practice of breathing, not to worry, to let the thoughts go. They'll come in. That's natural. It's more of just going, coming back to present, coming back to present, coming back to present. So with the tapping, you naturally coming back to present with each point. So I'm going to give you, and this is in a handout, so you don't have to memorize it. This is all written down. So usually the way I start it, and you can just do this in meditation, I'm putting my hand to my heart. So if you're thinking like, who am I? Like, I'm Denise. I'm going to tap, who am I? That's your center for this. And I usually put my right hand, but go with the one that feels, again, the best. Again, this is about feeling the most at ease. Energy works better when you're at ease. So what I do is I put my hand here. Now, a lot of times all of our work is kind of down. I usually there's your lung meridians where we hold growth. There's right here. There's some 2 points right here. So when I put my hands right here, I kind of have my palms there, and I'm kind of opening, dropping my shoulder blades, opening up, because I don't want to be meditating all crumped up. I'm opening up my heart. I'm opening up my breathing. I want to expand my energy field. So it's hands here. And then again, I'm just kind of putting my palms there and pushing down and out to kind of see how that kind of just drops that. So that's how I always go into that breath, just because I want that expansion. So do this with me. So we're just going to do 3 breaths, hands to your heart. So closing your eyes, thinking about lifting your eyes up a little if that feels good. So it's just breathing in, in through your nose, feeling like it's expanding. Feel like your body's expanding low and slow. You're not rushing this. Breathing out through your mouth. So one way of thinking about it is like when you're breathing in the smell of a flower. Think about like breathing in a marigold. Breathing out, it's like blowing out a candle on a cake. It's releasing. So it's breathing in. So it's just a slow little rhythm. Now you can just do that for 10 minutes and just get into this rhythm of breathing in. Play with more awareness of like maybe breathing into your shoulder, letting that relax. If you have tension in your jaws, breathing into your jaws, just visualizing your jaws expanding and then relaxing. Your eyes, we hold a lot of stress in your eyes. So breathing in and then stress in your eyes. You're just mindfully kind of scanning your body, expanding it. You might just stay with your heart and just experience your breath, thinking about it getting bigger and letting it expand into your back, above you, below you. And so you're extending your energy field out with this flow, but this breath is actually flowing and expanding you. So you can just stay with that. Now, if you want to help your emotions flow through or make for a tapping that is a little bit easier to do when you've got a racing mind or you have high anxiety, or you just want a little bit more energy. So I always start with those 3 breaths. And then tapping normally is like tapping here. You're actually tapping these specific points. You can absolutely do that. But at night, or when I want to relax, when I want to completely nourish myself, sometimes I'll do 1 round of tapping, but I always finish with just holding. So I've gotten to the point where really in the evening, if I'm just doing this as a meditation, I'm just going to hold it, because tapping tends to be more active and it kind of winds me up. I want to think about this deep connection. So think about like where my hand is and here, I'm connecting these 2 points. So when I'm breathing, I can either think about this point up here, this point here, or just my breath in general. Doesn't matter, but each point is 1 breath. So it's like breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Then you come to the next point, middle of your forehead. And I usually use my index. It has a little stronger energy connection. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Next point is inside of eyebrow. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Then I draw it over to the edge of my eye here. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. The next point is straight down from your eye, like at the top or the bottom of your cheekbone. Breathing in through your nose. If you want add a little pizzazz to your life, this isn't on the chart, but do the end of your nose. Underneath your nose right here, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. As you're breathing out, think about your shoulders relaxing. If you feel tension, just think about relaxing. You can still focus on the point, your heart, or some part that's got tension. Chin, breathing in through your nose. Now, you have 2 points right here. These are the end of your K27s, which is your kidney meridian, and they actually feed energy into your eyes. So these are really good points to have if you're driving, need more energy. How you find them is you go down through like your Adam's apple, go down past and out. So there's 2 hollows right here. So you kind of go down about down an inch and then out. Now everybody's a little bit different. So if you can't find them, you can also hold your hand right there. You could also rub in a bigger spot, but there's 2 little hollows is what you're looking for. If you can't find it, it's okay. You can totally just hold up here. So again, it's breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now with the hand, you can just do this as a meditation. Each of the points is going to be like on the outside of your thumb, outside of your finger, outside of your finger, outside of your finger, outside of your finger, and the what's called the karate chop. So we're just gonna do the karate chop just so we can stay timely in this class. And so you can hold that karate chop. You can put the two arms together. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then you come back to your heart. So a good rotation at night would be to do that 3 times. You can just do it once if you want. A lot of times I'll add like a mantra. Now with tapping, and Elizabeth and I were just talking about this before, how important the words we use are. So the words I usually use are release, relax, let go, thank you. Those are usually the words I use. But if those words don't resonate with you, use words that do, because it does. If you have anxiety or edginess around a word, it won't help you as much as if it's a word that you resonate with. So it doesn't matter what I say, your body, your mind, you have this amazing of wisdom. So usually the words I'm thinking about are things that release, that let go, that relax. Those are the ones I'm really cultivating, something that just is kind of letting the weight, the stress drop off of me. The last one, I really like finishing with a gratitude. Sometimes thank you works. Most of the time it works for me. It may not work for you, but something in appreciation, maybe it's a color you hold or something that feels, but a lot of times we work and we do a lot and we don't appreciate ourselves. We don't remember to say thank you. And so usually when I'm doing thank you, and it's usually the 3rd round, I'll do just thank you. It's funny how you just have this amazing sense of gratitude for something bigger than you, and also this internal gratitude for the things you do. So gratitude is a pretty solid one to go with. So see how simple this is. A pretty simple, it's just these tapping points. And honestly, just so you know, you can't screw this up. You can use this side, you can use this side, you can use this finger, you can do this and then go all the way to your chin and up here and down, then you pull your ear. Honestly, you can't screw this up. So don't stress about that. It's more of like, if you're doing this and you're like, and you think about it, when you're kind of like stressed, sometimes we'll grab the top of our head, right? And sometimes we naturally kind of follow these tapping points with stress, right? You just kind of have this feeling of, we do that naturally. So this is just kind of helping that flow. So instead of tapping, you just want to go, that's fine. So just so you know, this is not Denise said it this way. It has to be, this is turning it into your practice, your way of meditating. So with meditation, one of the reasons I use it as a really strong practice is, one, I'm with high performance habits and habits in general. When you're meditating, when you're letting your brain relax and reboot like that, your cognitive function goes up significantly. So if you feel like you're not remembering things, you're just stressed, your brain's not functioning the way you think it should, start with meditation. Start with drinking water, start with trying to get some sleep, but add a meditation into your life and see if your brain doesn't start functioning again. Because sometimes when we're just running on chronic stress, we don't even realize we're doing it and our brain isn't functioning. By adding nourishment where your brain knows it can relax and it can just stop thinking and it can just let the world be for just 10-20 minutes a day of just letting the world be while you breathe, let your nervous system calm down. The other thing is, it does, if you do it on an active practice. So a lot of times I will start an active practice on a calendar and I'll do day 1, day 2, day 3. So turning it into a streak of doing it over a period of time. The meditation is my fall practice. So I started it in September to do this specific practice. I will do it through the whole season, but keeping track of it on the calendar helps me keep going so I don't lose it. And it also gives me a very clear amount of time for how long. I'll probably keep going with it, but I'm not going to force myself to do that. What happens is, if you have a consistent practice like this, your nervous system can know, it can count on you to relax it. So even if you have a busy day, you're like, it's okay, nervous system. I'll be here and you can relax a little bit. So you can lean into it. It's worth it to have some kind of practice with this. There was a writer, a ghost writer that she did energy work a long time ago. Sasha Allenby, I think she wrote this book. She did a specific type of tapping practice. And what she talked about is she said when she has a writer come to her, if they're not doing a 20-minute meditation, she will not work with them because the quality of their writing is so significantly different when they're doing meditation for when they're not. I thought between the 30% cognitive improvement and that kind of improvement in your how you process and are creative, I think that's enough, right? Plus, doing the meditation, the tapping meditation or meditation right before you sleep will enhance your sleep, which if you're sleeping well, you have less chance of dementia, your nervous system is working better, your body, you're healing better. That's when you're healing. All the muck in your brain gets cleaned out at night. So if you're sleeping really well, that will help your whole life by improvement. So sleeping is so important, and meditation can absolutely help that. So any thoughts on that? Anybody have any questions on the tapping before we kind of get going into the other practices to nourish? Elizabeth, is there any questions at all? I know I can't see y'all.
Any questions, folks? Don't be shy to enter in the chat box or unmute yourselves at this time before we get started in this next segment.
Or have a cup of tea.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure there wasn't any questions. It's not complicated, right? It's just tapping, breathe, and or you can tap as you hold. When I'm sleeping in the morning, if I want to activate, I will absolutely tap in the morning. But in the evenings, as a meditative practice, I hold. And tapping is like your body likes rhythm. So one other thing about tapping, if you're holding, a lot of times you'll feel your pulse, which is the form of tapping in meditation. You're actually feeling your pulse. So you're totally connected to your body by feeling your pulse. That's still movement. It's still kind of the same thing. It's just more subtle. Okay, so I gave you a sheet too for a handout, and it's 10 ways to nourish your radiant energy system. Now, don't try to do all these things, but if there's something that kind of calls your name, you want to play with it for a little bit, just kind of look through and think about when you feel the best. You might want to pick up one or two, maybe three. I wouldn't go more than three, of figuring out ways to play with things that nourish. And again, all this is doing is calming down that stress, that high stress, so you can activate your radiant energy system, your inner nourishment. And then the inner nourishment, once it's rebalanced, you have this inner calmness. Like when you sit, your system is relaxed and you don't feel like you're always on. You're just like, it's the most delightful feeling when your energy system relaxes and you're not always under constraint. So a couple of things. One of them, again, is meditation. I call it brain uncluttering because that's absolutely what it is. You're just uncluttering your brain. So in this class, we were talking about clutter clearing, which is really interesting because when I go into homes and I'm helping people clear clutter, an interesting thing happens when we clear clutter. Their nervous system calms down. So clutter clearing is absolutely a practice of radiant energy. Tidying up your home, making it more thoughtful is really in a alignment with this radiant energy system. So in radiant energy systems, one of the ways to activate your radiant energy system is to shift your environment. So you can do that by tidying up your kitchen. Have you ever tidying up your kitchen and you just feel better? Make your bed, wash your face, put your shoes away. Those little acts will activate your radiant energy system. They're nourishment for your home, they're nourishment for you. By uncluttering and simplifying your home, your brain doesn't have as much to process. When you have too many things sitting around and they're not in a thoughtful way, they're too smashed or they don't make sense, your brain is always processing it. And so you're always consistently processing your environment, and it's tiring. You go to bed with it and your brain is like, I need to pick this up. I should do this. I don't know where this is. It's depleting of your energy field, your emotions, your spirit, your mind, your body. It's very depleting of it to have this busyness all the time of just feeling like it's kind of coming in on you. and then to go to bed and then wake up to it. So it's not whether this is a good thing or bad thing to have clutter. It's more of how do you feel in your space. If it is wearing on you, by tidying it up, just little spaces at a time will give you big benefits. It's like a 10-minute meditation. Just pick little pockets in the house to tidy up. Maybe it's the top of your dresser. Maybe it's your shoes. Maybe it's putting your clothes away that are on the bed. Just little things like that. Every time you do it, it calms your nervous system. It's like a 10-minute meditation for your nervous system. And it just, over time, the more things you do and calm your house down, you'll feel better. I'm always amazed at, like, when I go into a house, it's like there's this feeling, and I don't really place it when I go in. But as we start tidying it up and cleaning and reducing, this is what I see. I just see this and ease. It's the same breath. It's like things are up and then cleaning goes that, and it calms your nervous system. So if you're struggling with anxiety or depression, or just don't know what to do, or anxiety, turn off the TV, turn off the social media, unplug your phone. You can set your timer, but turn off all the electronics and just tidy something up. Open up your windows, get some fresh air, and clean and tidy, and start downsizing and simplifying. This is really powerful for your energy system to have a nourished environment to live in. Now, some of the ways to do if you want to change your environment is actually to leave your environment. So we're in our houses, like probably over 90% of the time. Most of us are in the houses 90% of the time, sometimes even more than that. Maybe we don't even leave the house. We can't be in this environment and expand. We need to get into nature. Elizabeth was just talking about going camping over the summer and how good it felt to sleep on the ground and be in nature. There's so much science that says when we're in nature, our nervous system calms down. We get more in tune with nature. We see past the four walls we're in. We see past the news. We start seeing awe and wonder, and we see sunsets, and we see trees, and we see bark, and we see animals and clouds and weather, and we feel. That calms our nervous system. We're not stuck up here. We're back in an experience of nature. So anytime you can, spend time in nature. Take off your shoes. Go barefoot in the sand, in the grass, down by the water. Go down by water. You don't have to spend a lot of time. Think of it as outside meditation. Maybe 10, 15 minutes of being outside, and your nervous system will start calming down. I just finished a course called The Science of Happiness. And one of my favorite things was discovered is by really activating your sense of awe and wonder of, like, how you see a sunset, you're just like, oh, that's so cool. Or you see a leaf or like a spider web that's got all the dew, and you just get this, this magnificence. So that sense of awe and wonder is very powerful, way more powerful than we realize. Our brains process in a whole different level when we're in that state of awe and wonder, in a good way. And it's also an anti-inflammatory. How cool is that? So by just being outside, just cultivating beauty, awe and wonder, you're calming your inflammation, or natural inflammation that gets wound up when we're under stress. So going for a walk. So go outside. Also, if you've been on the computer, if you've been working, if you've been just eating a meal, couple things. So if you've just eaten a meal, by standing up and going for a walk, it will help your digestive system significantly. Matter of fact, the CDC just came out with, there was a study that has just been floating around of, yes, after you eat, 2 minutes of exercising will help your blood sugar, so it processes better. So getting into the habit of getting up. If you go outside and go for a walk, if say you've been thinking a lot, by a 6-minute walk outside, it can reactivate your creative energy by 60%, right? So going for a walk, being outside, getting up, moving, absolutely unplug. At some point during the day, unplug. Turn off the TVs, you can have music on, but don't have any electronics. Social media gets shut down, cell phones, texting, alerts, all those things shut down. We need to not have those electronics processing around all the time. If you want to do social media or TV, set your timer for a specific amount of time and then get up and go for a walk. But having too much of that input, it activates our stress, And I'm sure, you can only watch so much news before your, your stress is going to get activated. So we need to, if the higher the stress, the more nourishment. So think of it was it Dr. Barbara Fredrickson? She was talking about, think of 3 and 1. So if you have a high stressor, give yourself 3 nourishments, and that will balance that out. So you watch the news, so then maybe go out for a walk, go find some awe and wonder, a 10-minute meditation, tidy up something, add some nourishment into your life to balance that off. So a couple other things that are good. So practicing gratitude. So in the science class I did, oh, I see somebody, thank you, Teresa. I see that she's leaving. So in that class, they were talking about the practice of gratitude. And I think we probably all heard about gratitude journaling and how important it is. Oprah Winfrey's a big fan of gratitude journaling. So an interesting thing came out. If you do gratitude journaling once a week and do like 5 or 10 things that you're grateful once a week, it's more powerful than every day. Every day when we do gratitude, we kind of get into it becomes habit. It becomes something we go into automatic pilot. But if it's an intentional practice of going deep into gratitude once a week, it tends to have a bigger impact on us. So practice journaling on gratitude. Let me think. Putting on music, just letting yourself flow. You're not trying to do steps. This isn't like dancing the 2-step here, because that's activating your brain. This is about just feeling music and moving. That will help your radiant energy system. It gets you in tune. It puts you back into rhythm. Kind of going back to what I was saying, after you eat, if you stand up and stretching will activate your radiant energy system. Anything that kind of crosses over, like walking, even doing 8s, activates your radiant energy system. So if you have to be in your office or you're doing anything, watching TV, you're on Zooms all day, every hour, set your timer and give yourself at least 2 minutes to stand up and stretch. Stand up, stretch, yawn, drink some water. Just open up yourself, walk around a little bit, get your energy system. You won't have near the brain fatigue at the end of the day if you refresh yourself throughout the day. And then the last thing I wanted to, no, actually 2 more things I wanted to pop in was to be kind. You can't be too kind. So be kind to other people, be kind to yourself. Again, the same thing of, you've heard of random acts of kindness, if you have one day and you just do 5 random acts of kindness, that has a more powerful impact on you than if you try to do them all the time. So practice kindness. Practice kindness if, like, you're driving and somebody wants in, let them in. Practice kindness of not pushing people when you're driving. So using driving as a practice of kindness. Go grocery shopping as an act of kindness. Say nice things to strangers. Be kind to yourself. If, like, you didn't do it perfect, it's okay. Give yourself kudos and kindness. Kindness will, begets. So in the act of radiance, there's begets. Joy begets joy. Kindness begets kindness. Gratitude begets gratitude. Love begets gratitude. Love begets love. So there's these begets in your radiant energy system. So whatever you want, the more you practice them, the more you strengthen them, the more they flow into your life and the more they flow out. So if you're kind to yourself, if you're nourishing yourself, the people around you will be blessed because you will be kinder and more nourishing, and that goes out. So however you're treating yourself radiates out, and we need that. We need us all to be kind to ourselves because we need more kindness right now. And then the last thing I wanted to add in my list of 10 was to reach out. It's easy right now to get isolated and stay home or not knowing how to be around people as much. We kind of got into the habit of being disconnected. When I'm struggling, if I'm feeling a little bit disconnected or tired or insecure or muddled, how we just all have those days. One of my strongest practices, I'll just go for a walk and I'll wave at all the neighbors. I'm sure my neighbors are like, man, she's the friendliest person in the whole world. But I do that for them and I do that for me because I know that I don't know if they know other people, if they're isolated. So by reaching out, I know that that's a human contact and it makes them feel better to know somebody in the neighborhood is friendly and reaching out. it also very much activates my radiant energy system. It is incredibly rare that I go for a walk in nature and I'm intentionally saying, hey, hey, noticing pretty things, even taking pictures of beauty, that I don't come back at a higher level of radiance, a higher energy system, and I'm a better human being. And it's better for us to be better human beings. So anyway, those are my 10. I guess I did go through them all, including the breath of awe and then the tapping. So these are just things to play with. The tapping is got a PDF, and also the 10 ways to nourish. They both have PDF. You don't have to try to memorize. As far as the breath, just think of it as expanding and relaxing. In through your nose, out through your mouth, just thinking of visualizing it, being aware, nourishing it, expand, playing with it, just enjoying your breath. It's not forced, it's just be present with it. That's really that breath of awe, like this amazing breath. I mean, just think about, it's magic to have a breath. How awesome is that? It's alive. And then just be kind, play with one thing, maybe make it a practice for 3 weeks. A good habit will take really about 60 days to pop in. So think of it during the season of just playing with a couple things. Maybe you do different things every day, but to just start playing more and more nourishing, and just start noticing if you're sleeping a little better, you tend to not be as reactive. If a stressor comes, you may handle it better. Your brain might start functioning a little better. Just notice where you're starting to see the benefits of it, and just enjoy, because there's a cause and effect. So there's a cause and effect of stress, and there's a cause and effect of nourishment. And we've been activating the stress. We want to activate the nourishment and then see what happens from that. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts that you want to add?
I really really enjoyed the unplugging aspect. I think that's very important also when um um if you're going to be going out to lunch with some friends, to also tuck your phone away, because
Yes.
to have that face-to-face interaction, especially with what we've been through over the last almost 3 years now. It's like, it's so nice to see people's faces, and we should
Yeah.
make everyone feel welcome that way.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So we'll add this in this practice. When you are around other people, turn off your phone. Be with other people. Be present. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, 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 yes. Anybody else have any other ways you want to add in more nourishment? I mean, there's a zillion ways to add it in. Just play with it. Anything, think about adding more love into your life, cooking with kindness, and noticing the senses of when you're cooking, noticing the colors and the senses, and appreciation, being present in that. When you're washing your dishes, be present in that. Just play, cultivate love, cultivate joy, cultivate nourishment, cultivate beauty, cultivate kindness, cultivate gratitude. They're begetters, and they're good for your nervous system. And then as far as your nervous system, stretch, open, big, walk, crossovers, dance, play, swim, and then change your environment, tidy it up, clean it, go on a different path, try a different tea. Those things activate your radiant energy system. Yeah, this is good. This is a lifelong practice.
And it's like each year we live and learn more, and then that's what I appreciate about these classes, is that we're able to interact and share that knowledge to help others feel happy and healthy.
Yeah, yeah. And we all have cycles where we have more energies on Sundays and not as much energy on others. That is completely normal. So just go with where you are. If you need more nourishment, the higher the stress, the more the nourishment. On the days where you don't have as much stress, maybe you don't need as much nourishment. So listen to your natural cycles. Go with what feels good. If it resonates with you, if it just feels like, oh, I'm craving that, that's your energy system talking to you. Listen to your own energy system. What feels nourishing to you?
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Denise.
Ah, thank you. And thank you guys for popping in for a Tuesday afternoon. I've never done a Tuesday afternoon talk.
Yeah, we had uh we have a lot of guests here, and we super appreciate you.
Well, welcome. I wish I could see you all. I can't, but I thank you for coming. And my I have a website, denisefrakes.com. And then I have a website. I think you might want to put it in the chat. It's
Yes.
so if you want to reach out to me, please do. I teach classes and coaching, but you know, we are stronger when we're nourished. We are better humans when we're nourished. I learned most of my energy work from working with cattle and animals. When my animals were stressed, they were dangerous. When they weren't stressed and they were at relaxed, they were all like they could all be in the house. They wanted to be in the house. We are animals. I think we forget that we have to nourish ourselves because when we're stressed, we're all dangerous.
That
and,
is so
and,
true.
and when we're relaxed, we're all pussycats.
Yeah. We're like, I wanna cozy up and take a nap. And yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
true.
if you go look in the mirror and your eyes are all bugged out and you're stressed, there's a chance you need a nap or you need to relax or go outside and give yourself nourishment. Notice the tension, notice your body, notice when you're up, and then in every day add the nourishment in with the other things, and then start noticing how your body will be like, well, thank you. I've needed this forever.
That's such a really wonderful observation about the animals because, they are definitely more in tune, but
Mhm.
they're not able to communicate, but they communicate with their energy and their body movements.
Yeah.
And whereas with us, um, everything has evolved around us, but like you said, we forget that we are, um, you know, we s- we still have those primal
Yeah.
integrated mechanisms within our body that we get
We're supposed
stressed on in traffic, and then we're like, why do we feel this way? And it's like, because we feel
yeah.
like we're a caged animal right now.
Well, think about it. Animals release all day long. They are consistent releasing. My dog, when he gets stressed, he yawns. He shakes his ears. He shakes it. He'll like shake everything. He'll yawn, he'll bark. My cat will stretch, will yawn, he'll scratch, he'll work it out. So animals tend to get rid of their stress as they go. Humans hold on to it, and honestly, you're in a business meeting, it's like, well, people would talk. So there's other ways to do it, but even if you go across something stressful, just think about like literally brushing it off. Like give stress the brush off at night. Give yourself a good brush and like you're combing your hair, and actually comb your hair. It's a very good way to calm your nervous system. It's like untangling your brain. Comb your hair at night. But you think about animals do it all the time. They've got a
Oh,
zillion ways to release their energy, and we're just sitting there holding it on. I know I want to keep it. It's
right. We're just
all mine.
clenching our teeth. You know what I do a lot, is that when I'm in the shower, I'll do like what I call a spiritual soak. And I'll just kind of take all that's not serving me any good, and I imagine it just going down the drain
I
and
like it.
getting reconnected and repurposed into positive energy within the cycle later.
That's awesome. And you can take that another step because you don't want soap scum. So then rinse out your shower and dry your shower so you don't have soap scum, and do it as an act of being present and gratitude. So then you'll be clean from the inside and out, and your shower, you won't have soap scum, and you'll have this deep appreciation of not having soap scum and have to use chemicals, which are stressful to your nervous system,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, there's you have some really great information on your website. I was taking a little peek, so I put it in the live chat and here in Zoom for those of you that are interested. I love your little blog entries. They're just so
Oh, thank you.
I had to pause for a second and then like reread this one line that was um so profound, and I was like, oh, that's so soul nourishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna change my website and to thriving in place. Because you think about it, we can't change everything, but we can learn to thrive where we are, meet ourselves where we are, and start improving where we can start thriving. Think of ourselves as dandelions. Wherever we're planted, we can bloom. We need to learn to thrive in place. Yeah.
it's like the saying, like, um you know, sometimes you're not able to change things around you, but you can change how you react to it. So
Yeah.
doing those wonderful 10 steps on how, there's still going to be stress,
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but it's just how we handle it. And um it, over time, with doing those amazing tips,
Yeah.
over time, it won't seem as much as a burden to your system.
It's so true. I used to notice like when I'd snap at my dog Sally when I had Sally, now I have Thomas, but when I had Sally, um, she was always just awesome. But when I got snappy with her, I'd be like, oh, it's me. And so then I would know, take care, do something, Denise, because she was always her. She was consistent. But if I got irritated, when I get irritated with other people, it's usually me. So when you start feeling yourself being irritated with other people or stressed, add more nourishment and you'll notice that the stressors don't affect you quite as much. And we don't know what the future is going to be, but we know that we're going to be doing our best. And so the more we can come forward unstressed and nourished, the better we'll be able to thrive in any situation.
That's so true. I have a little quote. If you do your best, the universe does the rest.
I like it. I like it very much. Yes. Yes. So just play. Whatever feels good to you, whatever feels nourishing. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Just add like one or two things of practice and just start noticing. If you don't start noticing things, like when things happen, that they don't impact you quite as much, that you rest a little bit deeper, your brain functions better, your digestive system works better. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think, is there anything, do we need to do anything, or are we just done?
Yeah, we could say goodbye to our Facebook Live friends and maybe open
Yes,
it up in the Zoom meeting in
yes.
case anyone has any more questions here. So
And thank you guys all for coming and being part of our community. And thank you, Marlene's, for being here. For how long has Marlene's been in business? How long have you guys been a staple in our community?
it's 1976, 1974.
Yeah,
I just I We just celebrated, oh golly gee,
it's been like
I am
30.
I'm drawing a blank here, but
Well, I mean,
over
anyway,
45
Marlene's has
years.
been a staple and they've supported us and they've been a huge impact in our community. So I know you have options where you shop, but sometimes making your decisions based on supporting our community, whether it's each other or local businesses, think about supporting our relationship with all our vendors and our companies too.
Thank
And they've got the
you.
best tea section too. I'm just saying, really good.
It's the best.
I know, really good. Yes, yes. All right, y'all have a great evening. I'm going to leave now.